Great Awakening. What is this process? You see, right now, so many of us have been awakened to our true selves, where we tap deep into our five senses and the imaginary world. You see, we are indeed universal beings who have lived lifetimes upon lifetimes. And so, we decided to come here during the shift of the ages to pretty much learn and grow and evolve. Now, you may ask, what does this awakening process involve? You see, the awakening process simply begins by opening up your own world, your own universe within you to tap into the five senses and beyond. Now we know what the five senses are because we've used it each and every day. Or sight, or hearing, or taste, or smell, and or feelings. You see, I know we are indeed instinctual nature. And during this age, this Piscean age, yes, we have used our five senses. But we have been taught to sort of rely on the logical brain. And when you awaken, your five senses begins to open even deeper and goes into the imaginary world. You know, the imaginary world is something we were always taught that was just a fantasy. When we have those daydreams, you know, of those visions of something that is not common in this society, many begin to doubt the vision that we have because it just doesn't seem so cool, real in this age. Well, as so many of us are being awakened, we get to see that this imaginary world really do exist. And as you begin to awaken and you start, first of all, everybody, the awakening process happens different, but we're just gonna share a few examples today to show you what the process seems like. You may just be sitting and all of a sudden you start getting certain pictures. You're in a room, but you start seeing pictures like you're somewhere, maybe on the ocean, maybe in a land that just seems so beautiful. What is this all about? You see, these are truly visions that you have. You're actually shifting in different timelines. You may have gone to a past timeline, or you may be going to a future timeline, and it's now all merging into the present time. It may have been a past life that you had a certain experience where you, let's say, you were a great miner, you know, of gold. And all of a sudden you start seeing yourself. Maybe you're at an older age. Maybe you were a man in this lifetime and you're questioning, what is this? This feels so familiar. You see, that is how the awakening stage begins. And you may tell certain people who don't understand this experience and they may label you as insane. You see, the awakening process truly grows through a stage of insanity in this world where what doesn't seem normal, you know, you might be labeled crazy. The insanity stage is not truly something bad that happens. It's simply that you're tapping into yourself, into another realm, another dimension. You may start hearing little voices, and I know there has been labels of mental disorder, maybe schizophrenia when you start hearing voices. Now we're not gonna get too deep into that. But you're somewhere and you start hearing little whispers. Maybe do this. Or go to this place. And you're like, why am I hearing this voice? Sometimes the voice may be your own voice, like you feel like your hearing voice is talking to you, like you're talking to your own self. It may be a family, a friend, or just this random voice that you're like, okay, this feels like I really have to go and do this thing that this voice is telling me to do. Wow, the imaginary world is truly fascinating. You may start feeling a certain way, like you feel so much joy when you do what those visions that comes to you tells you. You feel like just going out in nature, maybe writing something, maybe going to meet a certain person to discuss this great vision that you have, something that you've never done before. You start having those taste sensations. Maybe you are a vegan and all of a sudden you start having this taste like, man, I need to make this certain, maybe a nice vegan soup, maybe something you've never tried. Or let's say you're somebody, you're used to just eating salads all the time, and you get a nice, recipe in your head of a nice stew, maybe with coconut, maybe with all sorts of different, like grains and, sprouts and nice vegetables. And it may seem odd because you're like, I never crave this, but maybe you go and you cook this, and then when you do that cooking, that leads you to something else. It maybe tells you like, I need to eat more of this to nourish my body because maybe my body needs this. Or you may get an idea that's just that cooking and sharing and delve into the whole chef and cooking world. That's another vision right there. So we've pretty much discussed all of these. And yeah, one more, the smell. You may just start smelling. Maybe all of a sudden you start smelling your grandmother's perfume who passed on a long time ago. Or, you start smelling certain scents and you question, like, what is this scent all about? Then maybe one day you end up somewhere in a park and that same smell, you smell it. And you know that you have something to do with that smell. The reason I'm giving all of these examples is to show you that the awakening process through the five senses is simply visionary aspects of yourself. Whether it's something that you do in a skill in your past life or something that you have to do in the future that's now coming into this present moment to show you how you need to move. Maybe what you were always doing before, you've longed to experience different things in life, to do different things, and you're at a boredom state with what you're doing, whether it's just work and your day-to-day life. And your five senses is now awakening you to show you you're this great universal being with so much potential. Tap into those senses to find out who you truly are, to take you far, far, far beyond what you could ever imagine. You see, these five senses truly allows you to go forth into the imaginary world and just embrace all parts of you that your soul is calling you to do.